today's little project, or it might not just be today, but a little project for this video at least, is a oil heater. Now my furnace had a bit of a problem the other day, and it was just a bad day. Either I broke my oil heating tank. Now I've managed to repair the tank, and in future date I will probably upgrade that. To be honest, it's a little bit too small. So I want a oil heater a bit closer to the burner jet. Now I can't really have it inside the burner itself, but I can mount a heater just behind the fan unit. So what I'm going to use is a glow plug, and I'm going to make a block that this mounts into, and it heats the block effectively, and passing through the block will be an oil way that then leads directly to the jet. So I've got a little bit of pipe here from the old one, which basically has got a thread on the end. So I don't quite know how I'm going to make this, whether I'm going to make just two parts to solder onto the pipe, or whether I'm going to actually make up some threaded fittings that go into the block. Probably the way I'm going to do it. So we've got that aperture, we've got the aperture this goes into, and we're going to have a temperature sensor which I'm going to put in, which is just going to be basically a blind hole with a screw in it just to hold the sensor in nice and tight. I think I'm probably going to make it out of aluminium. It could be anything. In fact, if I make it out of aluminium, then I've definitely got to make some fittings, because I can't solder into the aluminium. So good point of thinking about that. Right, aluminium, threaded fittings, fix the glow plug in. Right, quick rummage around. I found a bit of 31mm bar, which is probably going to be 1.25" then, isn't it? So it's going to be an 1.25" square bar. So I can make that. It's about the right size to fit everything into. So I will cut that to length first of all. I think I'll go and do that in the band saw. Tell a lie, I'll do it in the old donkey saw, because that's easier to use. And then we're going to machine the ends. I think that's the first step. As you can tell, I'm winging it as usual. No plans, just whatever. Just get on with it. Now I've got the aluminium in the vise, clamped up tight, my ER40 collet holder in with some size. I haven't been measured, I just picked it out, so I don't know what size that is, probably about 1 inch, give or take. So just going to face the end off, again no measurements, just do it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drill the block down about 60mm, so that leaves me about, give or take, 10mm on the other side drill. I just don't want to drill all the way through. Well, I could have mounted the block over to one side, I suppose, and drilled all the way through, but There you go, done that now. So this is what we're doing for next. We're drilling this, hopefully leaving the taper there. So we want 20mm depth. So I'm just judging where that taper is going to be. There we go. Now, I was going to tap this now, but lo and behold, I've got hundreds of taps and I haven't got an M12 by 1.25. To be fair, it is quite an unusual thread, being quite fine for such a large diameter, but I still thought I would have got one then, but there you go. Anyway, so I'm going to turn it over, drill the remainder of the hole, and then we are going to cross drill. I think that's probably what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm going to cross drill into the bottom of this hole, so that will be in there like so. I'm going to put a passageway through to the top, in front of the nozzle and across the nozzle. Now I'm designing this in two different ways, that it'll have an oil feed running through this, or no oil feed running through this. So in other words, the glow plug is isolated on its own. I'm not quite sure which way to do it, whether the oil would be a good idea or not. It's like, well, I don't know. So we'll see how that goes. So now I need to decide what size fittings I have. Do I stick with this? Be a good idea if I do, because I've already got one. In which case I'll have to check out and see what thread that is. And then do I make the other one the same, or do I not? Here we go again. Right, we're over on the lathe, and what I've decided to do is I'm going to touch off, drill a hole through this. That copper pipe is 6mm, so I'm just going to bung a hole right way through it. And then I'm going to machine this down to 10mm, put an M10 thread on it, just a standard thread, nice and simple, got plenty of them. I say plenty of them, got loads of taps. This is going to be nice and simple. If I need to blank off the oil gallery, I can either leave the glow plug in there or do something else. So, first operation, just put a centre on it, bung a hole through. Okay, so I've got a die in the holder, but I've got the holder back to front, ironically, because I want the face of the die against the face of the chuck, so it's nice and square. And I've got the lathe out of gear, and I'm just going to manually feed it in. Just turning it a little bit each time, pinching the chuck up against it. Turn the die around for two reasons. A, on this, doing it this way, I can actually see when I butt up against the end, and B, this side's got a square shoulder on it. This side, the side with the writing on, is always the side you start with, and it's got a taper leading. So if you're butting up against something, turn your die round. So I've squared the parting tool up, I've moved it in 10mm plus the blade, so I should get a nice 10mm size on there. Just got a bit of aluminium rod sitting inside just to stop it disappearing into the swarf tray. Down a little bit and put it in gear. Quite expect that. So I've made my fittings. There they are. Now 8.8mm drill, drilling down 40mm, so that way there's a nice large chamber in here. The larger the chamber is, the less chance of any oil boiling up right on the tip of the glow plug. So nice large chamber. I know where I stopped last time, so I've got a depth of 40mm. Right, she's starting to slip, so I'll just undo this and do the rest by hand. Now I don't really need to go too deep, but I'm figuring the deeper I do go, the more contact area the oil that's in there has, because it's surrounded by loads of jagged threads, so therefore the oil will conduct more heat from the block. That's the theory anyway.